It's a 1.6-litre turbo, 200 horsepower.
Well, no, it's not horsepower, that's Korean.
Yes, it's dog power.
Yes, that's dog power.
Dog power? Oh, come on, Jeremy. But you know what? Back in the day, many thought Korean cars were a joke. Cheap, weak, absolute garbage. Korean cars, the kind of cars you'd buy when you had no other choice. Let's rewind a bit. Back then, if you told someone you were buying a Korean car, they'd probably laugh in your face. Hyundai, Kia. Those were the cheap and cheerful cars. Basic, boring, and built for people who just needed a car and nothing more. No prestige, no excitement, just transport.
우리들의 이야기를 나누는 스토리 코리아입니다. 오늘은 K-모빌리티, 바로 한국 자동차에 대해 이야기합니다. 인트로에서 보셨듯이 20년 전만 해도 한국 차를 떠올리면 싸구려, 저품질, 모방 같은 단어들이 먼저 나왔습니다. 농담처럼 호스파워의 마력이 아니라 도구 파워라는 말도 있었습니다. 하지만 지금은 어떨까요? 영상 한번 보시겠습니다.
This is the new Kia EV6 and it's a bit like my Samsung Galaxy Fold because it's Korean and extremely high-tech. Now in this video I'm going to tell you all about this car. Start this video by talking about the design. When I saw this thing in pictures I thought it looked okay, but here in the flesh it is a really striking car. I really like the full-length light bar. It looks especially cool when you turn the lights on. I love the interior design of this Kia EV6. It's really, really nice. The textured effect on the dash and the different lines, the blue lighting here, the screens. They actually have a coating on them which helps prevent glare so that you can see them even in direct sunlight. Tech, that's excellent as well. So it's got Kia's latest infotainment system. It's responsive enough. The graphics are fine. It's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto on the digital driver's display, which is nice and clear and very well laid out. Good comfort in here, more of a jolt, but it's never uncomfortable at all. I think it's absolutely fine. And driving around town, it's fairly easy to live with. So the steering's nice and light. The forward visibility is pretty good because you're sitting up quite high. It's a comfy car. And of course, you've got regen effect for the motor. What's my final verdict on the Kia EV6? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should just go right ahead and buy the Kia EV6. It's an absolutely brilliant EV. Plus, you can use it to cook your dinner.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Welcome to all of you to the World Car Awards Annual Winners Awards ceremony here in New York. How's everyone doing this morning? Well, I can tell you, we are absolutely thrilled to be here to celebrate the absolute best in the global automotive industry. We're also happy to be celebrating the New York International Auto Show's 125th anniversary. The World Car Awards are in our 21st year, and I can tell you we're also really proud to have been presenting here in New York in partnership with the New York Auto Show for the past 20 years.
My honor to present the award for the 2025 World Electric Vehicle. Finalists have all made a significant contribution to advance electromobility, but there can only be one winner. Let's take a look at the top 3 finalists in this category.
2025 World Electric Vehicle. Hyundai Inster Casper Electric. Kia EV3. Porsche Macan Electric.
And the 2025 World Electric Vehicle winner is the Hyundai Inster Casper Electric.
Not only me, I want to also share the award with our top designers and the inventors of one technology that not even the Chinese have invented yet, so-called autonomous selling. So Luc Donkovolke and Sanjay Lee.
Thank you.
For the World Car of the Year,
Please welcome back to the stage my colleagues Sid Patinker and Jens Meiners.
Congratulations to all our winners so far. Great, hard-fought wins, all of those. Jens.
World Cup here, it's a big deal. The title holds great prestige and awe. It was a very tough field of competition as always, but perhaps more variety than this year than we've seen in a while.
That's right. The three cars that have driven through to the top showcase the industry's best efforts, whether it is in innovative engineering, clever and attractive design, cutting-edge technology, and then they also offer the thrill of great dynamics, superior comfort, and efficient sustainability.
So before we find out which of our finalists takes home the big prize, let's take a look at them and show some appreciation for our very strong top three.
2025 World Car of the Year. BMW X3. Hyundai Insta, Casper Electric. Kia EV3.
The World Car of the Year
World Car of the Year 2025. Kia EV3.
Wow. On behalf of all of us at Kia, please accept our deepest gratitude to the World Car Awards organization and your respected panel of judges from around the world for naming EV3 as your 2025 World Car of the Year winner. In fact, it was just 12 months ago that our EV9 was named World Electric Car and World Car of the Year on this very same stage, and that was an experience we considered to be once in a lifetime. This moment stands as a testament to the energy and passion of Kia's global team members who are clearly dedicated to delivering the very best in automotive design and engineering. Their efforts ensured the EV3 stood tall when compared to these two very strong Car of the Year finalists. We at Kia we're immensely proud to work for a company that places such a high degree of strategic importance on this historic shift in the history of personal transportation. Our commitment to creating inspiring, sustainable, and customer-centric vehicles for all drivers around the world remains firm. We're also very proud of the Kia EV3 with its strong visual character, class-leading functionality, and advanced digital technology. EV3 perfectly embodies the values of Kia's opposites design technology, philosophy, and further, our dedication to the future of electrification. I can assure you there are many new groundbreaking Kias on the horizon, vehicles that will take the baton and run gracefully and efficiently across future finish lines. But for today, we celebrate EV3 and thank all the jurors once again for this great honor. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations.
이뿐만이 아닙니다. 미국의 권위 있는 시장조사기관 JD 파워가 발표한 2024년 신차 품질 조사에서 현대차그룹은 전체 자동차 그룹 중 1위를 차지했습니다. 브랜드별 순위에서도 현대는 전년도 17위에서 무려 3위로, 기아는 9위에서 4위로 도약하며 큰 상승세를 보였습니다. 특히 일반 브랜드 부문에서 현대차와 기아차가 나란히 최상위권에 오른 것 역시 주목할 만한 성과입니다. 독일은 BMW, 벤츠, 아우디의 나라, 이탈리아는 페라리, 람보르기니, 영국은 에스턴 마틴, 제규어, 자동차 명가들이 즐비한 유럽에서 한국차가 잘 팔릴 거라고 누가 예상했을까요? 그러나 현실은 달랐습니다. 유럽 자동차 공업협회에 따르면 현대 기아는 2022년 유럽 시장에서 자동차 판매 순위 4위라는 기록을 세웠습니다. 독일의 폭스바겐 그룹, 프랑스의 스텔란티스, 르노에 이어 4위, BMW와 벤츠를 제치고 말이죠. 그것도 판매량 106만 대라는 사상 최고 기록과 함께요. 그리고 현대 기아가 팔아치운 베스트셀러는 기아 스포티지와 현대 투싼입니다. 스포티지는 14만 대, 투싼은 12만 대 이상이 팔렸습니다. 과거 유럽인들이 한국차를 싸구려 취급하던 시절이 있었나 싶을 정도입니다. 미국에서도 K-모빌리티의 약진은 계속되고 있습니다. 금융포스트에 따르면 현대차와 기아는 2025년 1월 미국 시장에서 역대 1월 판매 기록을 경신했습니다. 전년 동기 대비 상승한 판매량을 기록한 것이죠. 이러한 성공은 자연스럽게 세계적인 인정으로 이어졌습니다. 미국 자동차 전문 매체 모터 트렌드는 2023년 파워 리스트에서 현대자동차 정의선 회장을 1위로 선정했습니다. 자동차 업계에서 가장 영향력 있는 인물로 인정받은 것이죠. 참고로 테슬라의 일론 머스크는 42위에 머물렀습니다. 한국차의 글로벌 돌풍 뒤에는 무엇이 있을까요? 해외 전문가들이 꼽는 성공 요인은 크게 세 가지입니다. 첫째, 디자인의 혁신입니다. 현대와 기아의 디자인은 더 이상 다른 브랜드를 따라가는 것이 아니라 트렌드를 선도하고 있습니다. 아이오닉 5의 레트로 퓨처리즘 디자인, EV9의 대담하고 미래지향적인 외관은 해외 디자인 어워드에서 연이어 상을 받았습니다. 잠시 해외 리뷰를 보겠습니다.
Ioniq is the new electric brand from Hyundai. There used to be a Hyundai Ioniq. Now this is the Ioniq 5.
They kind of did what they did with Genesis and made it like its own brand.
Not the worst move. And then competition-wise, this competes with a Chevy Bolt EUV, the Kia EV6, which is pretty much an exact clone of this, which we'll be driving in a few days.
Yeah, and the Mustang Mach-E.
Anything else?
The Tesla Model Y.
Yeah.
And the Volkswagen ID4, which I love.
And then looking at the outside of this quickly, this is a hatchback. It is a four-door. It's kind of a car, not an SUV, but it's kind of an SUV.
It's definitely an SUV. It's huge.
But it is smaller than an MDX that we parked next to, and it is shorter than an iMev.
Yes, and I also parked it next to my Fiesta ST, and it towered over it.
It can be big. There's a lot of room in here. It's got a long wheelbase. However, it doesn't feel that big to me at all.
Yeah, it's got a 2-inch longer wheelbase than the Hyundai Palisade for context. And for context, you actually need context because if you see this on the road just parked, it looks like a cool little hatchback, but it's massive.
Okay, I want to start off with the looks of this because this is the best looking car of the year, I think.
Design of the year, 100%.
And when we saw it at the auto show 2 years ago, we're like, oh, another dumb concept that's never going to look like the actual car.
They did it.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, actually though.
The best. Coolest headlights, coolest taillights, cool digital pattern.
Cool wheels.
Cool wheels, cool body lines, cool matte paint in this one, which is a little darker than the trim that goes around it. And then this has an additional package which gets us 20-inch wheels instead. And what would be the Continental recommended tire for an Ioniq 5?
Well, it's the ones that we're driving on. The Viking Contact 7s for the winter or the Cross Contact LX Sport in the summer.
And in winter, this thing has been great.
It actually has been.
Especially in all this kind of crappy, wet, cliche corner. Is there anything about the looks of this that you don't like?
Nothing. Literally nothing. I love this car.
Oh, that's the Genesis GV80. This is an excellent luxury SUV, gorgeous both inside and out with great technology, and it drives well. This could be a serious contender. Honestly, the biggest problem Genesis will face is their brand name, which just isn't as strong as Mercedes-Benz or Audi or even Volvo or Lexus. Controls for the windows and the power mirrors are very nice. Everything in here looks good, feels good. This GV80 has a sticker price around $66,000, $67,000, and to me, it has the interior of a car that is much more expensive than that. And again, I think that's going to be a huge selling point for people who prioritize luxury, comfort, and quality.
해외 전문가들이 꼽는 한국차의 글로벌 성공 요인. 두 번째는 선도적인 전기차 기술 혁신과 판매 성장입니다. 인사이드 이브스의 2025년 3월 보도에 따르면 현대차와 기아는 전기차 및 하이브리드 판매에서 연일 신기록을 세우고 있으며 2025년 2월 기준 전년 대비 각각 35%와 22%의 성장을 기록했습니다. 산타페 하이브리드, 아이오닉 6, EV9 등 주요 모델이 판매를 견인하고 있습니다. 한편 독일의 아우토 모토 운트 스포츠는 현대 기아의 전기차가 보여주는 기술적 혁신성을 높이 평가했습니다. 특히 eGMP 전용 플랫폼과 800V 충전 기술이 한 세대 앞서 있다고 호평했습니다. 앞서 말씀드린 바와 같이 미국 JD 파워의 품질 평가에서 현대차그룹의 순위는 2023년에 비해 2024년에 크게 상승했습니다. 특히 현대차는 17위에서 3위로 수직 상승했고 고급 브랜드인 제네시스는 첨단 기술 만족도에서 1위를 차지했습니다. 이러한 품질 향상은 지속적인 연구개발 투자의 결과입니다. 현대자동차 그룹은 디지털 트랜스포메이션에 집중하며 소프트웨어 중심의 모빌리티 기업으로 변신하고 있습니다. 2024년 발표된 플레오스 OS와 같은 소프트웨어 플랫폼은 이러한 전략의 일환입니다. 그리고 2024년 미국 JD 파워의 상품 만족도 조사에서 현대차 그룹은 7개 차종이 1위를 차지했습니다. 이는 소비자들이 체감하는 품질과 만족도가 실제로 높다는 객관적 증거입니다. 이러한 성공에도 불구하고 K-모빌리티는 새로운 도전에 직면해 있습니다. 2025년 미국이 수입차에 대한 관세 인상을 발표하며 한국 자동차 업계에 큰 충격이 전해졌습니다. 한국 자동차 수출의 절반 가까이가 미국으로 향합니다. 현대차 63만 대, 한국 GM 41만 대, 기아 37만 대에 달하는 규모입니다. 이 물량 전체가 관세 인상의 영향을 받을 수 있습니다. 이에 현대차는 관세 태스크포스를 출범시키고 일부 생산을 멕시코에서 미국 알라바마 공장으로 이전하는 등 신속하게 대응하고 있습니다. 하지만 위기 속에서도 기회는 존재합니다. 현대차와 기아는 전기차와 하이브리드 판매가 지속적으로 성장 중이며 특히 하이브리드 차량 판매는 전년 대비 40% 급증했습니다. 또한 브랜드 전략 역시 진화하고 있습니다. 이제는 가성비 좋은 차를 넘어서 혁신적인 모빌리티 솔루션을 제공하는 글로벌 브랜드로 포지셔닝을 재정립하고 있습니다. 그리고 미국 시장의 불확실성에 대응해 현대기아는 인도와 동남아시아 등 신흥시장 공략에도 집중하고 있습니다. 인도에서는 분기 기준 역대 최다 판매량을 달성했고 특히 현지형 SUV 모델인 크레타가 큰 인기를 얻고 있습니다. 이처럼 K-모빌리티는 위기를 기회로 바꾸며 빠르게 적응하고 자신만의 해법을 만들어가고 있습니다. 20년 전 싸구려로 불리던 한국차는 이제 유럽에서는 BMW와 벤츠와 경쟁하고 미국에서는 JD 파워 품질 평가 상위권에 오르며 세계 무대에서 신뢰받는 브랜드로 거듭났습니다. 물론 우리 한국차가 모든 면에서 완벽하거나 우월하다고 말할 수는 없습니다. 이것 또한 분명한 사실입니다. 하지만 오늘 우리가 확인한 많은 객관적 지표와 해외 반응은 말해줍니다. 한국차는 성장했고 인정받고 있으며 더 나아가고 있다는 것. 글로벌 도전이 거셀수록 K-모빌리티는 더 강해질 것입니다. 오늘도 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다. 저렴한 대안에서 글로벌 리더로 성장한 K-모빌리티. 지금도 수많은 관계자들이 더 나은 한국차를 만들기 위해 노력하고 있습니다. 우리는 그들의 땀과 도전을 함께 응원할 수 있습니다. 우리들의 이야기를 나누는 스토리 코리아였습니다. 다음 영상에서 다시 찾아뵙겠습니다.
Korean cars, the kind of cars you'd buy when you had no other choice. But look at them now. Kia, Hyundai, they're everywhere. Winning awards, packed with more gadgets than a sci-fi movie, and even taking on the big dogs like BMW and Mercedes. So, what happened? Did Koreans actually decide to make good cars? Or is this just one big marketing scam? Let's rewind a bit. Back then, if you told someone you were buying a Korean car, they'd probably laugh in your face. Hyundai, Kia. Those were the cheap and cheerful cars. Basic, boring, and built for people who just needed a car and nothing more. No prestige, no excitement, just transport. But then, something changed. Slowly, these so-called budget brands started sneaking up on the competition. The designs got sharper, the tech got more advanced, and suddenly, bam! Hyundai and Kia weren't just making cars. They were making cars that people actually wanted. And now they're selling millions. They've got a luxury brand called Genesis, and they're coming for the big names like BMW, Toyota, and even Mercedes. So, how did they go from cheap knockoffs to industry disruptors? Let me explain. So, how did we go from dog power jokes to Korean cars outselling some of the biggest names in the game? Simple. They started doing things better. And I'm not talking about tiny improvements. I'm talking about game-changing moves that made everyone sit up and say, wait, is this a Kia? So, what's their secret sauce? Buckle up, because here's why Korean cars are suddenly everywhere. You ever look at a car's price and think, wow, that's a great deal?
That is a great deal.
And then realize it's missing everything you actually want. Yeah, Korean brands said, nope, ain't happening. They started loading their cars with features you usually find in high-end models, massive touchscreens, heated and ventilated seats, panoramic sunroofs, without the luxury brand price tag. You get more car for less money, and people ate it up. Let's be honest, old Korean cars, they look like generic rental cars. But now, have you seen the Hyundai Ioniq 5? The Kia EV6? The Genesis GV80? These things look like concept cars that somehow escaped the auto show and ended up on the streets. Sharp lines, aggressive styling, and interiors that feel more like luxury lounges than economy cars. The glow up is real. Korean cars don't just keep up with tech trends, they set them. While some brands are out here charging extra for basic features, Hyundai and Kia are out here throwing in massive curved displays, fingerprint scanners, and self-parking systems like it's no big deal. And they're leading the charge in EVs, with cars like the Kia EV6 and Hyundai Ioniq 6 getting range that actually competes with Tesla. No excuses, no compromises, just tech that works. Most car brands give you a basic warranty and send you on your way. Korean brands, they straight up said, nah, we got you for a decade. That's right, Hyundai and Kia offer a 10-year to 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. That's basically them saying, yeah, we know our cars will last, so here's a safety net just in case. And guess what? It worked. People trust Korean cars now because the brands put their money where their mouth is. Look, gas prices are all over the place, and nobody wants to be at the pump every 2 days. Korean brands figured that out early and started making cars that stretch every drop of fuel like it's liquid gold. Even their SUVs don't guzzle gas like crazy. And now, with their hybrids and EVs, they're making it even harder for people to ignore them. So, Korean brands didn't just get better. They went from being the underdog to setting new standards in design, tech, and value. But hold on. No car brand is perfect. What about the things they don't get right? Let's talk about it. Korean cars are packed with tech, look amazing, and give you more for your money. But hold on. If they were perfect, everyone would be driving one, right? Well, they're not. And trust me, the critics love to remind us why. So, let's talk about the downsides, the deal breakers, and the stuff that still makes some people hesitate before buying a Hyundai or Kia. Even after all the huge progress, some people still look at Korean cars and think, nah, that's just a fancy budget car. Why? Because for years, Hyundai and Kia were known for making, well, let's just say cost-effective cars. And breaking that reputation? Not easy. Even today, some folks just won't take them as seriously as a Honda or Toyota. But, are they right? We'll get to that. Let's be real. Korean brands have come a long way. But if you're expecting a Kia to drive like a BMW, you might want to sit down. Sure, they've got some fun models, the Kia Stinger, Hyundai N models, but overall, the handling, steering feel, and driving experience aren't exactly thrilling. Most of their cars are built for comfort, not for carving up back roads. If you're a driving enthusiast, you might find them a bit vanilla. You know how Toyota and Honda hold their value so well, it's almost annoying? Yeah, Korean brands? Not so much. Their resale values have improved, but they still take a bigger hit compared to the Japanese giants. So if you're the type who trades in your car every few years, you might not be thrilled when you see that depreciation chart. Now, this one's controversial. Some people swear their Korean cars run for years with zero issues. Others, they've had engine failures, electrical problems, and recalls that make you want to pull your hair out. The truth? Early 2010s Hyundai and Kia models did have some rough patches, engine recalls, oil consumption issues, you name it. But in recent years, reliability has gotten way better. Still, some people won't let go of the past, and that reputation is hard to shake. Genesis is out here swinging at BMW and Mercedes, but let's be honest. Are people really cross-shopping a Genesis G80 with a 5 Series? Some do, but most still see Genesis as a fancy Hyundai instead of a true luxury brand. No matter how good the cars are, breaking into the luxury game takes time, and Genesis is still fighting for that respect. So yeah, Korean cars have their flaws, but are these deal breakers or just old stereotypes that don't hold up anymore? Let's find out. Alright, so we've heard the criticisms. Korean cars are still cheap. They don't drive like a BMW. The resale value isn't the best. Blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. How much of that is actually true? And how much is just people stuck in the past? Let's destroy these arguments one by one. Korean cars are still cheap and low quality. Oh, really? Then explain why Genesis just beat Mercedes and BMW in luxury rankings. Explain why Hyundai's interiors are now better than some so-called premium brands. Korean cars used to be cheap because they had to be. Now, they're making some of the best-built, best-designed cars on the market. The only thing that's cheap is the outdated opinion. They don't drive like a BMW. You're right, a Kia Sorento isn't going to feel like an M3. But guess what? Neither does a Toyota Camry or a Honda CR-V. Korean brands aren't trying to be sports cars, except for their N models, which are actually fun. Most people want a comfortable, reliable daily driver, not a Nürburgring lap record. And for that, Korean cars get the job done better than most. Resale value is terrible. Okay, fair point. Korean brands used to lose value fast, but have you checked the latest resale rankings? Hyundai and Kia have climbed way up, and models like the Telluride and Palisade are holding their value like gold. And let's be honest, if you're buying a car just for resale value, you're probably driving a beige Corolla with 0 options anyway. They're unreliable. The classic. My uncle's 2006 Hyundai broke down, so all Korean cars are bad argument. Look, yeah, Hyundai and Kia had issues back in the early 2000s. Engine recalls, reliability problems. We're not ignoring that, but that was years ago. Today, they've climbed reliability rankings and are competing with the best. And don't forget, they back their cars with a 10-year warranty. What other brand is that confident in their cars? Exactly. Genesis isn't a real luxury brand. Oh, so let me get this straight. Lexus is a real luxury brand, even though it started as Toyota's fancy side project. But Genesis isn't, even though it's making cars that beat BMW and Mercedes in reviews. Make it make sense. Genesis is still new, sure, but they're out here building luxury cars that actually feel luxurious without the overpriced badge tax. Give it a few years, and people will stop pretending they don't exist. At the end of the day, Korean cars aren't perfect. No car is. But the old school hate? Yeah, that doesn't hold up anymore. Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis have spent the last 20 years proving people wrong. And the way things are going, they're just getting started. So, what's the final call? Are Korean cars the real deal or just overhyped? Well, unless you've been completely out of the loop, it's obvious. Korean cars leveled up. They went from cheap rentals to feature-loaded, stylish machines that make the competition sweat. And at this rate, they might just take over, whether the competition likes it or not. And now the question is, would you consider buying a